Hello, thank you for joining me in another video. If you're new here, my name is Howard. I'm a retail investor just like you. And today we're going to be talking over one of my favorite stocks at the moment, which is Grab stock. And of course, we have their Q4 earnings coming up in under 24 hours now. So what I wanted to do is run through, okay, let's have a look at the stock price, what's happened in the past few months since the last earnings. Then we're going to look through what the projections are, what the analyst projections are. And then we're also going to go through last quarter's slide deck and run you through what I'm expecting to see and what I think we really need to be seeing for Grab for the investment thesis to hold up. So first of all, let's take a look into the stock price. So if we go back and look at the last 6 months, we can see that it's been very choppy and it's not been positive. We're actually down 10% on the past 6 months. We did see some positive movement in September, getting up to nearly $6.50. And since then, we have just been going down and down. Growth in general has been very choppy. And when we're talking about a stock like Grab, there's not a lot of good news coming about it at the moment. It is easy to be forgotten. It's not something that American investors use as it's based in Southeast Asia. So we do really need to see some positive results and big, confident, consistent growth to get people to pay attention to this name and then hopefully move the stock price. Because as you can see, since the last earnings, we have still been in a downtrend down to $4.30, and it really is stuck around this range. So what does that mean? What are we looking for? So put together here is basically looking at the expectations. So we're looking at the analyst expectations, some guidance that Grab might have given, and also comparing that to the prior quarter and the same quarter last year. We want to see growth in all of these areas. So revenue, what the analysts are looking for is 940 million. That's a 22 to 24% growth. EPS around flat, maybe 1 cent per share. I get the sense with Grab at the moment, they're trying to keep it pretty much break even, maybe slightly profitable, but it is overall growth and market share at the top line they're looking to acquire at the moment. Higher EBITDA than expected is kind of what analysts are looking for. And also growth commentary is also looking for 22 to 24% growth. We're going to be looking at, okay, what are the top end? What are they achieving this quarter? And what are they projecting in the future? Hopefully they increase their guidance. So they're actually saying they predict some more aggressive growth in the coming 2026 financial year. If we look at Grab's actual guidance, they've been very vague about this. They haven't given us that much to go from, but it's kind of continued revenue growth, expanding profitability. It's going to be interesting to see if they do actually decide to expand their profitability in this recent Q4 quarter. And then strong mobility and delivery demand. Prior quarter, we're at 873 million, and same quarter last year at 764 million. This is what I'm really looking to see move. I want to see their revenue go up consistently. Above 20% will be fantastic. We want to beat on last quarter and, of course, do a really strong beat on last year, which is going to look really good when these earnings are released and it's kind of released into the news. Profit, I don't mind about as much, but I am just looking to see that revenue number climb. So now we'll move over into, let's pop over into, have a look at last quarter's earnings report. So have a look here. It's good to look at because we can see what we're kind of expecting, what they're going to be running through, and then also what we're seeing them compared to in terms of last quarter compared to this quarter. Revenue up 20%, 22% year on year. On-demand gross merchandise value. This is an also important number that I'm looking for. GMV is basically how much money is spent on the Grab platform. So revenue is how much they make from that. It's how much they spend, people spending on the platform is the gross merchandise value. Adjusted EBITDA, of course, and then trading 12-month adjusted free cash flow. We are actually free cash flow positive now, so we want to see that continue. We're going to be looking over some other stuff, I'm sure, talking about AVs, autonomous vehicles. It's such a big buzz in the industry. They have to show that they're still always partnering and looking at this. And there have also been a couple of interesting announcements with kind of autonomous vehicles as well, like drones particularly. I think they announced they're going to start trialing that in Singapore. So I'm sure we'll have some other kind of future-based announcements on that as well. Acceleration of deliveries and GMV growth. So like I said here, this is another one that I'm looking for is MTUs. We want to see MTUs, monthly transaction users, them to actually grow. So when we're looking at our deliveries, gross merchandise value and our revenue, that could be existing customers spending more time on Grab and spending more money on Grab. But what we're also going to be looking for is, are we actually getting more people onto the Grab platform in the first place? I want to see us growing in both areas, getting more people to use the Grab platform, and also when people are using Grab, for them to spend more money in it. Q4 should be good, particularly with tourism and a lot more people coming over to the Southeast Asian countries. We know that Grab pushes very hard for that. So hopefully we do see a nice growth in MTUs as well. Financial and operational highlights on Mart growth. This is also an interesting one as well. It's another area they're looking at. So not just on demand hot food and deliveries from restaurants, but also Mart stuff. So getting your general supermarket shop, getting that from Grab and getting it delivered on the same day as well. And also growth in dispersals and bank customers. So Grab Finance is a big industry that people are looking at them growing at the moment. So we want to see some more updates on what they're doing there. And if we continue to go down, we'll also have a look at, let's have a look here. So revenue, GMV, adjusted EBITDA. So GMV, the top, of course, how much money is getting spent, revenue, and then break it down to EBITDA. We saw really growth in Q3 over the previous quarter. So we can see we've seen 22% growth on revenue, 24% on GMV, and 51% on EBITDA. We want to see that continue. And then we're going to be looking into where this money is actually coming from. We know that deliveries, number one, is delivering us a lot of the revenue at the moment and also a lot of the profit. But also going to be looking at mobility, which is how people are ordering cabs and drives and stuff like that as well. Those are the two big revenue drivers at the moment. They are most important for us in us hitting our growth targets. But then we also want to look into financial services. This is a rapidly growing industry. So it started off very small, but you can see last quarter it grew 39% year on year. This is an industry that Grab have got into more recently, but they are growing it very rapidly. This is going to be very interesting to see as well, because it's potentially a new silo of them generating revenue, or they already are generating revenue, but it could be a good area for growth in the coming years. And if they kind of beat expectations on that, that is something for people to get excited about and possibly re-look at how they're rating this company and what their future, what growth potential could look like. So that's going over what has happened in the past. I think it's going to be pretty clear what we need here. We need strong beats on the quarter and year on year in terms of showing really strong growth at the top line. Bottom line, I'm not too concerned about, because I'm pretty sure we can turn profitable when we want, but it is just about growing consistently. And all of those people that are kind of scared that the market is too competitive and not possible to make work by one super app like Grab, we want to see them consistently growing market share, because once they grow market share, they can reduce incentives because they don't have to be so competitive, and that's when they can start bringing in lots and lots of profit from their customers as well. That is the business thesis with Grab. As soon as these other competitors fade away, Grab can take more market share and also can make more profit on that market share. Then lastly, we're going to look over to just the numbers here so we can see kind of where we have been going from in the past few quarters. So what I've got here is the metrics that I'm looking at as most important. Like I've said, we want to see good revenue growth. So we can see we have had consistent, really strong revenue growth, especially kind of in the last quarter, growing 24.4%. We're going to want to see that continue. Again, if we look back at the analyst expectations, I believe it's around, where are we here? Yeah, 940 million. So we're going to want to see some good 22, 24% growth there as well. If they can beat that, that's absolutely amazing. When it comes to profit, I've got operating profit on here as well. So we did kind of turn a corner and we're operationally profitable now. We want to keep that there. Any surprise to the upside will be positive as well. But the other main area I'm looking at is here, which is the monthly transacting users. I want to see people growing, more people choosing to use Grab. That is what we want to see. To kind of fight that narrative of it's a very competitive industry, Grab aren't going to be able to win. We want to see Grab, no matter how, well, it's getting so huge now, but they are still getting more people onto the platform, and they're going to get that economies of scale. The more people are using it, the better the product will be, the more people that are recommending the product, and of course it will snowball from there. So that's the other core area that I'm looking at there is MTUs. So circling back, if we pop back over here onto the share price, of course, it has not been a fun time being a Grab shareholder recently. It seems that if the market is going hot, Grab hasn't been getting any love, but when the market's seen a decrease, Grab has also been getting hit. And I think at the moment people are kind of, well, number one, I think they're waiting on the potential GoTo acquisition in Indonesia. That is also another big thing we're looking for commentary on there. They've stayed very close-lipped about that, kind of understandably so. If we can get an update on that, that would be huge as well. But I think number one, people are waiting for what's going to happen there. What is Grab going to do with that big pile of cash? There's all these rumors going around. And number two, I think it's kind of, people are just kind of nervous about what's going to happen with this growth. People don't use the app enough. Well, in Southeast Asia they do, but people are not using this over in kind of where the big investor bases are, such as in the United States. So they are very kind of skeptical about, can they own all of this market? So what we need to do is we need to show clear growth. We need to show clear dominance, that Grab is dominating in this industry and the growth only looks to strengthen in the future. And we also want to see kind of operational leverage to show that they're actually profitable in this, and they are the only one that can be profitable in this industry, and people that can be confident this is going to be a winner takes most market. Then we've got other areas such as financial services to show that it really is a super app that people are using Grab as, and they're making revenue from lots of other areas as well. So hopefully we get some positive results. I will be looking here. It's mainly growth. I want to see that the growth story is still solidly intact. And then I'm looking for other little areas like the financial services, MTUs. And I'm also going to be looking for any possible narrative on a GoTo acquisition and what they're kind of doing with the Indonesian government and that side of things as well. Hopefully, if we see that, we'll see some positive news on the stock price because it is very, very deflated. But of course, we can't control that. The main thing I'm looking for is the numbers and the performance of the company. And then over the long term, the stock price will follow that. So I hope you found this useful. If you're a Grab investor, please do let me know in the comments if you have any questions about this or any particular things that you're looking for. It's one of my kind of bigger holdings now, Grab. So looking for other investors to share your thoughts on that as well. It'd be great to know. And apart from that, I will be doing a summary video on Grab as well. So make sure you look ahead for that. And I'll be running down what my thoughts are on the earnings and all the stuff that they announce. So hope you found this useful. And until then, I will see you on the very next video.